This is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
Good morning, everyone. Glad to have you with us on this Friday. The weekend is almost here. I'm excited about it.
Yes, you've been talking about it since Wednesday.
I know. Well, hey, I look forward to the weekend.
I know you do.
Sleeping in.
This should be a good show. One of us has slept too much and one barely slept, so this should be an interesting couple hours. So hold on tight.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go to John Scalzi now for the weekend forecast. Good morning, John.
Good morning. Weekend is kind of a mixed bag, I'd say.
Okay.
If you're a duck, Sunday will be great. Yeah,
well,
it's going
unfortunately, I'm not a duck.
pour rain, I think, on Sunday.
Really?
Yeah, Saturday looks to be pretty much okay, but maybe the evening and nighttime hours a little dicey. Got big changes coming up in the forecast, and we'll talk about that in detail in a few minutes. Right now, though, we have some shower activity across the region this morning. A few hit-and-miss showers here and there have dotted the landscape. Nothing really heavy. Right now, everything's pretty quiet. Got about a 30% chance of seeing some showers close to the coast during the morning hours, followed by mostly inland activity a little bit later on in the day. Not much in the way of cloud cover, so expect to see a lot of sun once again, boosting our temperatures to a very warm 92 or so, with a heat index coming up around 100. I have the whole forecast for you coming up in a few.
All right, talk to you soon. Thank you, John. We'll build up there on Cortez in the westbound lanes as you head away from 14th Street West. Otherwise, pretty good right now in Manatee County. Big buildup right now on the Bayfront, which might lead us to believe there is some construction going on there, some overnight work on the roads in both directions as you pass along Marina Jack in that section. And farther south, the buildup there is on 41 southbound as you come into Venice from Nokomis.
Topping our news this morning, a Sarasota neighborhood near the North Siesta Key Bridge has had its fair share of crimes recently, as well as over the last several years.
Rick Adams tells us exactly where it's happening and how neighbors are reacting.
Well, a string of burglaries here in the San Ramo development has put a lot of folks on edge. For people who live here, they're hopeful things like the Neighborhood Crime Watch will help. The beautiful San Ramo Estates, with its 67 homes, sits on the bay right near Siesta Key. It's a neighborhood that has experienced at least 7 property crimes this year and around a dozen crimes such as burglaries in the last couple of years.
Attempted break-ins, car theft. We had one actual successful car theft, people breaking into cars and stolen mail. And it just is happening with a rate and a frequency that's a lot greater than it's been in the past.
For residents like Steve Clavette, these numbers are very concerning. He's lived in San Ramo for about 2 years.
We're deeply concerned with the level it is right now. We're transients, we're from Midwest, we're from the East Coast, wherever. And we're not used to seeing these kind of things happen.
San Ramo resident Bob Petak says part of the problem is that there's been a large drop in the number of police officers with the Sarasota Police Department compared to a few years ago. He and others are pushing the city for a big increase in the police force.
The more the police are made visible, there's going to be less crime. Is it going to stop all the crime by having more police officers? No, but they're certainly going to be able to keep it under better control.
Police say a lot of these burglaries could be prevented, especially if people are a little more diligent.
In any neighborhood and anywhere today, we're asking our neighbors to make sure they lock their houses, lock all their doors, and lock their cars.
And if you do see anything suspicious in this neighborhood or in any neighborhood, you're being asked to contact your local police department or sheriff's office immediately. Reporting from Sarasota, I'm Rick Adams, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
On to Manatee County, a murder victim's loved ones are feeling a sense of relief this morning with a suspected killer in custody 4 years on the run. The FBI arrested this man, Andres Calazos, in Colombia and charged him with killing his ex-girlfriend, this woman, Jasmine Catano. She was shot and killed in her home in June of 2013. She worked in the clerk of court's office in Manatee County. In fact, the current clerk of court says she's relieved about this arrest.
When someone absconds and leaves the country, you almost wonder, will this ever happen? And it did. And we're all so glad for Jasmine's family that they did catch him, and now they'll see justice.
The Manatee County Sheriff's Office says they learned early on in the investigation that their suspect had fled to Colombia and able to capture him with the help of Colombian authorities and also the FBI.
In Venice, another call to Capitol Hill to save health care. Demonstrators gathered yesterday to urge senators to vote no on the GOP's bill to repeal and replace the Affordable Care Act. The rally was organized by the groups Indivisible Venice and Inglewood Indivisible. The rally was part of a nationwide call on senators, specifically Miami Republican Marco Rubio, to reject the health care bill.
I feel for all the families that have people with pre-existing conditions, because they're going to find it hard to find reasonable cost insurance if Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act is done away with.
Now, that bill was voted down 2 hours ago in the Senate, but the group says despite thousands of calls and emails, Senator Rubio still voted yes on those measures.
An update now on the project to install a diamond interchange at the intersection of State Road 64 and I-75. State DOT crews are widening the on and off ramps to the interstate and also installing sidewalks and bike lanes on State Road 64. An FDOT spokesman says there will be intermittent lane closures on both roads, mostly overnight, though. The work should be done in about 2 years. The state just finished a similar $74 million diverging diamond project on University and 75.
For more than 6 years, Sarasota County, City, and Seminole Gulf Railway officials have not reached an agreement on who will pay for repairs on a stretch of road in North Sarasota. And now residents are all caught in the middle of it. The main area of concern is at the intersection of Myrtle Street and Central Avenue, where the railroad tracks meet. According to residents, the intersection hasn't been fixed in years, but the city says it's a county issue, and the county says it's the railroad's concern. Back in March, the county met with railroad officials to discuss design and repairs for the area. While the design work is anticipated to be complete in August, the county says funding may not be available for the project anytime soon.
We don't care who does it, the county, the city, the state, federal government, which is a railroad. But it needs to be done, and it needs to be done now. They have enough money for whatever they want to have money for. They have enough money for Benderson.
County officials say they're working on the issue and plan to begin construction by 2019.
Sarasota's Habitat for Humanity helped 2 more Suncoast families move into new homes yesterday. Habitat Sarasota dedicated their first 2 properties of the new fiscal year. The new homeowners receive a discounted mortgage payment as part of the program. During construction, though, they're required to perform 300 hours of time working on the house. One of yesterday's recipients surpassed that requirement, doing 400 hours, all while working 2 full-time jobs. She says she wanted to get that family out of poor conditions in which they were living.
And I feel that they really care about me, and that was a feeling that I never in my entire life received from anybody. So right there I felt that shelter, that they really was going to help me and my family to progress from being miserable to accomplish something.
Very emotional day for her. Habitat Sarasota has 9 more homes under construction that should be ready in the next 2 months.
2 firefighters are back on the Suncoast this morning after spending several weeks out west. Firefighters from Sarasota County and Manatee County were among 80 people who recently traveled to Utah to fight devastating wildfires. Crews spent about 2 weeks there working to contain the fires, which burned 13 homes and forced 1,500 people to evacuate. They say being on the line in Utah is much different than here in Florida, mainly because of the low humidity and windy conditions. Crews from Puerto Rico and Georgia also made that trip.
MTV's new reality show set on Siesta Key is getting some pushback for one of its commercials that leads up to the premiere this coming Monday night. Among other claims, the promo says weather is 73 degrees year-round. Also refers to the old Salty Dog restaurant on City Island near Longboat Key as the real Siesta Key. There's actually one in the village as well. Earlier this week, this local video blogger named Louis Carey posted a 9-minute rant against the promo that has gone viral. He accuses the show's producers of misleading viewers, which he thinks could attract the wrong kind of visitors here.
I'm just frustrated how they're trying to portray this city, and I'm not going to be able to reach as many people to say, no, that's not necessarily true. This is the reality. So if you want to come here and enjoy it, you should understand the realities of it.
I kind of had to shut it off early because it was just not accurate at all.
The show debuts Monday night, 10 p.m. on MTV. We'll have more local reaction on this controversial news show next hour on Good Morning Suncoast.
We're now learning more about one of Sarasota's oldest night spots, closing its doors earlier this month, but its new owners are planning to give it a second run. The 5 o'clock club has been sold to the owners of Evie's Restaurant in Sarasota. Father and son team Steve and Mike Evanoff purchased the venue on Hillview Street, including the property and its liquor license. Mike Evanoff tells ABC7 that he's, quote, excited to keep the tradition of this location going and to add to a new era to it. The 5 o'clock club dates back to 1955 and closed on July 10th. Its former owner was George Generoso, who ran the club for more than 20 years. The Evanoffs plan to reopen that club on August 4th.
Shark Week at Mote Marine is winding down. The laboratory has been holding its annual Shark Days at Mote. Real sharks, real science this past week. The event gave people the chance to be up close and personal with the animals through interactive, family-friendly activities. Sharks on display included the sandbars, the nurse sharks, the bonnetheads, which are like hammerheads. Also, Mote has been going live on Facebook each day for shark feedings.
We want to educate not only the youth in our community, but also adults. There's a lot of misconceptions about sharks out there, and by having people come in and learn about sharks here at Mote, they kind of walk away with a better appreciation for the sharks.
This is Mote's 3rd annual Shark Week, and it ends tomorrow. And happening today, the Lee Wetherington Boys and Girls Club in Sarasota will host their inaugural Rock the Boat Regatta. 12 teams of boys and girls and area CEOs will race homemade boats. Each boat was made during the past 2 weeks using only cardboard and various colored rolls of duct tape. Those who take part will have the chance to win awards for most creative, fastest boat, and the ultimate Rock the Boat Regatta champion. The event runs this morning from 9 to 11 at the Lee Wetherington Boys and Girls Club pool in Sarasota. Now, John, you're a scientist. How will cardboard and duct tape float?
Well,
yes?
For a little while, okay.
First 10 seconds are great.
Yeah, I was actually there yesterday doing a promo for something else for next weekend, and I was seeing some of them make their boats, and a lot of them are going more for looks, some going for who's going to get there to the finish line first.
Yeah.
They all are using engineering or working on the logistics of all of it, so it'll be interesting.
It'll be
today.
great fun.
Yeah.
Great
I
fun.
wish
What
I
a
could
great
do
idea.
it.
Yeah,
Great
it
time.
sounds fun. Duct tape, you can do anything with duct tape.
Yeah, that's true.
That's right. We have some showers coming our way over the weekend. I think we are kind of going to flip the switch into the on position for the rain machine across Florida. We'll talk about that in a few minutes.
All right, thanks, John. Still ahead, we'll take a look at this weekend's entertainment in the latest edition of Suncoast Scene.
And later in the hour, an early morning vote in the Senate against repealing Obamacare, and you might be surprised which Republican crossed over to vote against the president.
That is a pretty good breakfast. You're not even eating.
Not hungry.
No? Why not? What's up?
Kath and I knew that Jenny had been partying a bit. Found out she tried heroin.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
You studied hard, went to college, and achieved your dream, but it turned into a financial nightmare. If you have federal student loans and you'd like to reduce your payments, get more time, or have your loans completely eliminated, then we have good news. With one call to Student Loan Relief Services, you can find support and guidance. We've already helped thousands of people, and we can help you too. If you have $10,000 or more in federal student loans, you can qualify for payment extensions, payment reductions, or you may qualify to have your federal student loan completely forgiven. Call Student Loan Relief Services now to find out about your options. Take control of your finances and get out from under this burden. One of our student loan experts has the answers to your questions and great solutions to ease your financial burden. We're here for you. Call Student Loan Relief Services now.
Call 800-759-0203, 800-759-0203.
There was this big bruise on my friend's face. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to think her own nephew could have hit her.
I didn't want to see it. My mother's bank account was emptied, and a caregiver had taken control of it.
I didn't want to see it. My father's refrigerator. There was hardly anything in it. That's unusual for him.
It's tough to see that a senior citizen is being abused, physically, emotionally, sexually, or financially.
Elder abuse is a crime.
So see the signs. Stop the crimes.
Now, the official Suncoast weather with ABC7 meteorologist John Scalzi.
Another warm, humid start to the morning with 79 degrees. The air temperature, we have a dew point of 75, and that makes it feel very muggy outside. Almost an 80-degree temperature. In some places, you're going to see 80 degrees. We have an east wind light at about 3. That'll shift to the west as we head into the afternoon, and we'll start to see better chances of rainfall as we come into the second half of the weekend. But for today, it's going to be very similar to yesterday, except for the fact I don't think we'll see the big, heavy rainfalls along the coast, but we will see an isolated shower or two around. 75 Wauchula, Arcadia at 76, same thing in Myakka, Parrish, Bradenton, Lakewood Ranch at 77, Northport, you've got 78 degrees this morning. 79 degrees in Venice, 80 degrees in Inglewood, Longboat Key, the hot spot coming in at 81 degrees, and Punta Gorda has 77. So across the state of Florida, things pretty quiet right now. Again, few scattered showers down to the south, a persistent trough of low pressure producing persistent rain showers off the Jacksonville coastline. Otherwise, we had one little lone shower kind of move on shore this morning, producing a little brief rainfall. It has since dissipated, but we still have some showers out in the Gulf, and a few of them may make it onto shore this morning. Our rain chance is pretty small, coming in at about 30%, if that, during these morning hours. So across the nation right now, there are some locations that will see more rainfall than others. Down through the Tennessee Valley and into the mid-Atlantic, we have a trough of low pressure, a frontal boundary. That is actually going to be rather instrumental in providing us with a good chance of rainfall as we head into the weekend. For today, it's going to bring a slight risk, a marginal risk of some severe weather in parts of the mid-Atlantic, stretching back into Kentucky and Tennessee. So if you are traveling today, Nashville could be a problem. Areas around Washington, D.C. could be a problem. Maybe Raleigh, Durham, or Charlotte could have a little bit of inclement weather late in the day. This whole frontal boundary will eventually sink south and bring us better rain chances. But for today, we have just a chance of maybe a thunderstorm or two across the state, mostly up around the Jacksonville area and down to the south of us. But in interior sections of Hardee and DeSoto, you might see an isolated shower or thunderstorm build there as well. Forecast is going to be calling for a chance of showers over the next several days at about 30%. That rain chance is going to be high as we head into next work week, and that front continues to sink south. Having a little computer problems here, but you can bet that by the time we get to Sunday, our rain chance will jump from about 30% to about 60 to 70% and hang there right into the beginning of next work week. Back to you.
All right, thank you, John. Taking a look at traffic this morning in Manatee County, looks like State Road 70 heading towards 301, seeing some congestion, also 64. As you head into downtown Bradenton, I-75 looking good as we head into Sarasota County, looking pretty quiet. There is some slowdowns northbound as you pass by Clark Road on 41. Also around the Bayfront, seeing some more congestion as we head into South County, pretty quiet throughout that area on your Friday morning. And as we inch closer to August this summer, the Suncoast still has plenty of entertainment to see.
Oh yeah, from the garden to the stage, our Linda Carson has this week's Suncoast scene.
The Venice Theater presents Zombie Prom.
It's a typical story. Teenage, beautiful young lady falls in love with a school bad boy. Her parents force him to break up. He kills himself by driving his motorcycle into a nuclear reactor, comes back 3 weeks later, dead as a zombie.
Beckett Fan Miller plays Johnny the Zombie.
At first, he's kind of, a not so nice kind of bad boy, doesn't really care about school, gets the popular girl, but then when he dies, he comes back to life and starts to see that, okay, maybe I need to change because this is my second chance and I want to do better than I did than before.
Zombie Prom is not scary. There's no blood or guts, just singing and dancing. Zombie Prom at the Venice Theater Friday through August 12th. Tell them about it, Johnny.
Fun for the whole nuclear family. It's to die for.
There's something else for the whole family. Incredibello at the historic Oslo Theater. Bello will hold you spellbound.
Sometimes I'm quick changing, sometimes I'm doing illusion, singing, dancing, balancing on a high wire, on a chair on a high wire, on a pole, upside down. Anything that will get people's attention, make them laugh, or make memories.
Saturday is the last day for Incredibello. Don't miss it. And here's another show that's coming to an end. This is it, your final weekend to see what everybody's talking about here at Selby Gardens. The Chagall exhibit will be up through Monday, so don't miss this opportunity to see how great it is.
It's the last chance for people to come in, explore our French Riviera world that we've created here on the grounds, and also to see the masterwork paintings by Marc Chagall before they head back to Jerusalem.
And the Sarasota Cuban Ballet School's onstage presentation Saturday night features Francisco Serrano, home on break from performing for the Royal Ballet in London.
We're doing a suite of Corsair, and I'm going to do a pas de deux with Amanda.
And Francisco will be joined by a host of fantastic dancers in a multitude of dances.
It's a wonderful program, one that we mix and do bits and pieces from all the classical ballets and contemporary new pieces that we're going to premiere.
See Francisco and all the other incredible dancers from the Sarasota Cuban Ballet School on stage at the Sarasota Opera House Saturday night at 7 o'clock. Linda Carson, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
So much stuff to go on this weekend.
I love that Incredibello at the Oslo.
Yeah, you saw that, right?
Yeah, one more show tomorrow.
Oh,
as well as today. Yeah,
I better get there soon.
Yeah, he's so fun. All right, still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast, Tesla releasing its long-awaited Model 3 sedan. We'll tell you who will get the first of the new cars.
And coming up at 5:30, we're learning new details on the Ohio State Fair tragedy, what Governor John Kasich is ordering as the investigation continues this morning. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate
or shop at Goodwill,
I'm creating a job.
I am Goodwill, yeah.
So you've decided to go to college. That's cool. So pop quiz. Which is a better way to earn your degree? Commute to college and fill your gas tank, get stuck in traffic, drive in bad weather, try to find a parking space, walk a half-mile to class, or learn online at Independence University. In the park on a bench, on the beach on a towel, or on your couch with your kid. Your campus is wherever you want it to be. You don't go to college. College goes to you. That's independence. That's Independence University. You schedule classes around your schedule, and all your supplies, including a brand new laptop and tablet, are included with tuition. At Independence U, you'll learn from professional instructors with real work experience. You'll get personal support in school and employment assistance when you graduate. Get your degree, but keep your life. That's independence. That's Independence University. So if you're really smart, you'd call now.
Call 1-800-319-0237.
Independence U, for an independent you.
Call 1-800-319-0237.
My name is Haley. I have Fragile X syndrome. I work with Chartwells at Einstein's and FAU. I like being up front and interacting with students. The students are very nice and very hungry. Having a job is a big ticket for independence.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
ABC 7's official Suncoast Hurricane Guide arms you with vital information you need to protect your family and property when severe weather threatens the Suncoast, including how to create your readiness plan and survival kit. Download yours today at mysuncoast.com.
We'd love to get your feedback and also your pictures of weekend events. We're going to do something today on Facebook, aren't we?
Yeah, so we are trying to implement a new idea called Facebook Friday, so you can join us on our Facebook as well as ABC7's Facebook. We'll have a live feed at 8 o'clock this morning. We'll be talking a little bit about a wide variety of things happening here on the Suncoast this morning, what national days it is today. We'll have some more information on that today at 8 a.m.
So to see that, we go to the ABC7 page.
Yes. You'll have to go to ABC7's Facebook page to be live on that feed this morning, and you guys can interact with us on that live feed, so it'll be great. We can see everybody's comments.
All right.
It is 5:25 this morning, and technology confirms that George Clooney really does have the perfect face.
Did you write that? And Apple announced it is discontinuing the iPod Nano and Shuffle. ABC's Candace Gibson and Diane Macedo have the story.
In today's Tech Bites, say so long to the Nano and Shuffle.
Apple is discontinuing the two iPod models, both introduced a dozen years ago. The only iPods left now are two versions of the Touch.
It's a sign of the times. Most people who listen to music on a mobile device use their phone. Well, Tesla is set to roll out its long-awaited Model 3 today.
The four-door sedan, starting at $35,000, is half the price of Tesla's previous models. And the electric car company is banking on the Model 3, hoping to sell 5 times as many cars by next year. Finally, it's confirmed. George Clooney has the world's most handsome face.
So that conclusion was made by a researcher using computer mapping technology.
Measurements of Clooney's facial features give him an almost perfect score using a formula developed by the ancient Greeks.
And Ryan Gosling had the perfect nose, apparently.
Those are your Tech Bites.
Tech Bites, brought to you by Aleve.
Hey, this is Lloyd. To prove to you that the better choice for him is Aleve, he's agreed to give it up.
Okay, but I have 30 acres to cover by sundown.
We'll be with him all day as he goes back to taking Tylenol.
Yeah, I was okay, but after lunch, my knees started hurting again, so more pills. Yep, another pill stop. Can I get my Aleve back yet? For my pain, I want my Aleve.
Get all-day minor arthritis pain relief with an easy open cap.
How'd we rethink light yogurt? Kicked out artificial sweeteners, added real fruit, and made it 90 calories. New Light and Fit Greek non-fat yogurt with 0 artificial sweeteners. You'll go from to wow.
Get a top brand refrigerator starting at just $19.99 a week. All without credit. Only at Rent-A-Center.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
This is an important announcement. If you're between 50 and 85 and worried about your loved ones, you can still get affordable life insurance for peace of mind.
My life insurance coverage is guaranteed, and I was not required to get a medical exam.
I had high blood pressure and diabetes, and I got my coverage with one telephone call. No exam necessary.
I'm a smoker, and I wanted to take care of my family. I called to get my life insurance and my affairs in order. I wanted to do the right thing.
Call Final Expense No Exam Insurance. Your rates are guaranteed and will never increase.
I called and learned that this insurance cannot be canceled even if you get sick or gain weight.
And there are no restrictions on how my beneficiaries use the money when I'm gone.
Approval was easy and the price was right. I wanted to do this for my children.
Call 800-738-9812. 800-738-9812.
So many possibilities worth exploring. Minnesota Flooring.
Looking for carpet? Look no further. Minnesota Flooring has Smart Strand carpet as low as $1.79 per square foot. Installed, no add-ons or extras. Unbelievable? Minnesota Flooring can have in-stock carpet installed in your home in 48 hours for as low as $1.99 per square foot. Don't miss these prices. Visit Minnesota Flooring today.
I am the resident district manager on the FAU campus for Chartwell. Whenever I see Haley, I do not see a person with a disability. I see a person with extraordinary abilities. Haley is always smiling. She's always on time. She gives fantastic customer service and is always focused on any job that she's given.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to abilitieswork.employflorida.com.
We've all heard how military veterans adjusting to the civilian world may have certain issues.
30. 78.
If only everyone had this issue. No matter what challenge they face, Easter Seals is here for America's veterans.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com for Chef Judy's favorite recipes, restaurant guide, and more. Go to mysuncoast.com/dining.
This half hour on Good Morning Suncoast, while you slept, the Senate was voting overnight on health care. And the result may surprise you.
And will the Pentagon abide by Trump's policy change involving transgenders in the military? What the nation's senior military officer is now saying on the president's ban.
And a Florida police officer uses his training to help catch an alligator. Those stories and more now on Good Morning Suncoast.
Live from the ABC 7 studios, this is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
And a pretty shot there of the Ringling Bridge, and that shot kind of coincides this morning with the opening of a hotel there, 18-story high-rise at Gulfstream and Ringling, the Westin.
Yeah, you were just there a few days ago, were you not?
I was. Had some pictures we're going to share probably early next week from the new view of the bayfront, and quite a perspective up there.
Okay. Is it nice? What's it look like? What's it?
Hotel?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a rooftop pool.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
that's
beautiful.
Always nice.
It's the Westin, folks, at 18-story high-rise at the Ringling Bridge and 41.
They've been working on that for quite some time.
Oh, we've watched that.
Yeah.
Yes, we have. Let's get the forecast now from meteorologist John Scalzi.
Well, another pretty dry day here on the Suncoast again today and tomorrow as well. If you're going to be out and about doing things out of doors, boy, today and tomorrow are the days to do them, because I think Sunday things are going to change significantly, and we'll talk about that in a second. Looking at the radar, well, you can see a few scattered showers down there in the very southern parts of the viewing area, just off the coast of Charlotte Harbor, and a couple off the coast of Venice as well, but none of them really heavy and none of them really going to pose a threat to your morning commute. Everything should be pretty dry this morning. Sun will rise and bring us lots of sunshine, boosting our temperatures again today up into the low 90s. Forecast in a minute.
All right, talk to you soon, John. A little build up there on Cortez as you head toward 14th Street West, also known as US 41. State Road 70 has its usual delay at some point, this time around 301. Farther south, issues along the bayfront. You'll see this one heading in the southbound lane of 41 as it comes along the bayfront and then heads really due south on 41. Also Bee Ridge slow in the eastbound lane around Tuttle and Beneva. And just one little spot there, 41 southbound in Venice. 5:32 now on your Friday morning.
Topping our news this half hour, a crushing defeat overnight for President Donald Trump and the Republican agenda.
Early this morning, by one vote, senators voted against the president, and among those who broke ranks, Senator John McCain. ABC's Emily Raw has details.
A long night in the Senate, a delayed vote, and no shortage of drama. All eyes on Maverick John McCain, who returned to Washington to take part in the healthcare debate despite his aggressive brain cancer diagnosis.
Clerk will call the roll.
The vote began at 1:24 a.m. and minutes later, McCain showing no lack of stamina, raising his arm and then lowering the boom on the Republicans' signature promise.
No.
The dramatic moment eliciting cheers from the Democrats. Along with McCain, Republican Senators Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski also voting no, making the final tally 49-51.
This is, clearly a disappointing moment.
Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell acknowledging defeat, Republicans reeling from the significant loss and broken campaign promise. Ted Cruz telling CNN,
"It's the working men and women who were left behind tonight."
Vice President Mike Pence working the floor for hours, but in the end, no need for his tie-breaking vote, and both sides agreeing it's time to move forward.
It's time to move on.
It's time to turn the page.
President Trump weighing in online, tweeting, 3 Republicans and 48 Democrats let the American people down. As I said from the beginning, let Obamacare implode, then deal. Watch. Senator McCain released a statement revealing more about his decision to vote no, saying the Affordable Care Act was rammed through Congress on a strict party line basis and that Republicans shouldn't make the same mistake that caused Obamacare's collapse. Emily Rao, ABC News, Washington.
Meanwhile, President Trump's tweets on the abrupt reversal in military policy changes regarding transgender service members is causing a lot of outrage. The organization representing Iraq and Afghanistan veterans are calling the move harmful and contrary to American values. Members of Congress say they were not informed of the president's decision in advance. Speaker of the House Paul Ryan was asked about the transgender ban during a press conference yesterday. He says he's waiting to see what a review between the Department of Defense and the White House entails.
The problem here, or the concern here in the House, was whether or not the military will be forced to pay for these surgical procedures. I share those concerns.
A study by the Pentagon last year found transgender people in the military have had little or no impact on unit cohesion, operational effectiveness, or readiness, while healthcare spending on active duty trans service members increased by about 0.1%. According to a memo obtained by ABC News, top military commanders say there will be no immediate change in policy, despite the commander-in-chief's tweets. And President Trump is praising a deal that he says will create thousands of jobs here in the U.S. He is announcing the electronics giant Foxconn will build a $10 billion factory in Wisconsin. The company is based in Taiwan and best known for assembling Apple iPhones in China. The factory is expected to initially create 3,000 jobs, which would make it the largest economic development project in Wisconsin's history. The campus would cover almost 2 miles, which is roughly 3 times the size of the Pentagon. The factory is scheduled to open in 2020.
An update now on that Ohio State Fair tragedy. Here's some video released of the accident Wednesday night that killed 1 person and injured several others. Riders on the aggressive thrill ride called the Fireball are seen spinning in the air. Then suddenly an entire car breaks off and flings them to the ground. 1 person was killed, 7 injured. The Ohio governor has ordered all rides at the fair closed until the investigation is complete and additional safety inspections can be conducted. Other fairs being cautious as well. So far, 7 states have suspended or issued moratoriums on fair rides across the country. The ride passed inspection just hours before the accident.
Delta Airlines is suspending service to Venezuela indefinitely. That's according to a leaked document now confirmed on Delta's Twitter account. The July 25th document, notified Venezuelan officials that Delta's last flight into the country will be on September 16th. Travelers are now asking Delta about that change, and the company wrote on Twitter, quote, Delta will notify customers booked for travel after September 16th to discuss options.
It appears issues with the recalled Takata airbags are hitting close to home. A crash happened last week in Holiday, just northwest of Tampa. The victim was in a 2002 Honda Accord when the crash happened and the airbag inflator ruptured. If the airbag caused the death, it would be the 19th worldwide and 13th in this country, blamed on the inflators. Takata inflators can explode with too much force and blow apart a metal canister that spews shrapnel. The defective inflators have been part of the largest automotive recall in U.S. history. Now, this involves perhaps your car, 19 different types of cars between 2002 and 2015.
The state of Florida keeps shelling out big bucks for losing lawsuits. Since Governor Rick Scott took office, the state has paid at least $19 million to cover expenses and fees for opposing lawyers. That includes $12 million to attorneys who represented pediatricians. The state also agreed to a $2 million payment that will go to lawyers who sued on behalf of disabled inmates. Florida has also paid more than $800,000 to the American Civil Liberties Union.
Another company is opening a medical marijuana dispensary in Florida. Knox Cannabis opened its newest storefront in Tallahassee yesterday. The firm is one of 7 companies now selling medical marijuana in Florida. In total, there are about 20 pot shops across the state, with more opening each month. The company founder says the goal is to help those suffering with certain medical issues.
It's about helping patients. It's really, this all gets down to patients in need in the state and patients who need medication, a natural form of medication that don't have all the side effects that modern pharmaceuticals have.
And despite voters approving this measure, the city of Sarasota has placed a moratorium on dispensaries within the city.
Good news this morning for renters in Pasco County whose homes were swallowed by a massive sinkhole earlier this month. 2 renters will be able to recover some of their belongings. A Pasco County official says the debris from the sinkhole will be taken to a landfill where renters can then go through the contents at their own risk. In the meantime, county officials are still deciding what to do with the sinkhole in Land O'Lakes. The possibility ranges from doing nothing to connecting it to a nearby lake. Families in 3 other homes were displaced because of risk to their homes.
And Boynton Beach police have released body cam footage of an officer making a daring rescue. Watch this. Officer Alfredo Vargas was called to a home to wrangle a nuisance skater. He has experience. 13 years ago, Vargas took a course on alligator rescue and decided to put it to use this past week. He was able to put trapping skills to good use. Vargas used a clicking noise, that's right, a clicking noise, to mimic the sound of baby gators to try and get the gator away from the door so we could catch it. But the rope slipped up several times.
It normally gets alligators to react because they're very protective of the young. I just try to cover its eyes, calm the alligator down a little bit.
Well, whatever he did, it worked. The gator soon stopped fighting and Vargas grabbed it with his bare hands. Oh. Vargas later took the gator to a nearby canal, removed the tape, and put it back in the water. Boy, we've had more gator stories the past week or two or three than I ever recall around here.
Yeah, a lot of gators out there.
Yeah,
they've really made a comeback.
They really have, haven't they?
They have. We have some wet weather shaping up for us this weekend. We'll talk about that in a sec.
All right, thanks, John. Still ahead, there's an emerging medical field focused on new mothers that's becoming popular across the country.
We'll tell you how lactation specialists are helping moms breastfeed up next in Health Smart.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate
or shop at Goodwill,
I am creating a job. I am Goodwill, yeah.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
What to do when your heating or air conditioning needs service or, heaven forbid, replacement? Call Air Now today. We've been serving Sarasota and Manatee County since 1946. We offer $49.95 tune-ups, lease or finance options, and remember, service today or it's free.
Attention! Royal Seas Cruises has just announced their deal of the day, a $99 Caribbean cruise for 2 people. This amazing cruise deal to the Bahamas is only available to the first 500 callers who register in your area today. So get ready to write down this number and act fast. We know that the best type of traveler is a repeat guest, so we're offering this $99 Caribbean cruise to prove it. That's $99 per couple, including your stateroom, all your delicious meals, full spa, live entertainment, 3 kids clubs, and more. Come see why we were voted one of the top 10 best overall cruises by Cruise Critic. We're so sure you'll enjoy yourself and become a repeat customer that you're getting this deal of the day for the unbelievable low price of just $99 per couple. But you've got to act fast. Pick up the phone and be one of the first 500 callers to take the Caribbean cruise of a lifetime for just $99 per couple. Call right now or log on to royalcruisenow.com.
Call 800-906-0489.
A promise was made, a promise that hit the beaches of Normandy, a vow that captured Iwo Jima, a contract that weathered Tet, a pledge that stormed the desert in Iraq, an IOU that braved IEDs in Kandahar. A promise was made to America's veterans. DAV fights to keep that promise, so all veterans and their families get the benefits and support they earned. For help, visit DAV.org.
My name is Stephen Jaffe. The law firm's name is Farmer Jaffe. One of the beautiful things about Julius is he's always smiling, and it becomes infectious. The fact that Julius has a disability has absolutely nothing to do with the quality of work that he's done. Just a great person you want on your staff.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
I witnessed him have 2 heart attacks in ICU. He went through seizures.
We'd much rather have Aaron like this than dead. A lot of parents don't have that luxury.
He can't talk. He can't walk. This is a condition Aaron will live with for the rest of his life because he abused prescription pills.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
Now, the official Suncoast weather with ABC7 meteorologist John Scalzi.
So we're looking at some very warm, muggy conditions outside right now. We have all week long, but that's at the surface. It's not aloft where you need the moisture in order to produce a lot of rain shower activity. So we are again today looking at kind of a dry day. Not much in the way of cloud cover outside. A few fair weather clouds, that's about it. Temperature really close to that 80-degree mark. And a dew point value in the mid-70s, exactly where we were yesterday. East wind comes in at about 3 light. It will be shifting as we head into the afternoon, coming in out of the west, keeping the coast a little bit cooler, while inland areas, again today, probably have heat indexes pretty close to 105 degrees. Now, along the coast, you'll probably be closer to about 100-degree heat index, maybe 101 or 102. 77 Wauchula, Arcadia, Mayaca, and Punta Gorda. Lakewood Ranch at 78, so is Parrish and Bradenton, Northport as well. And then you've got some 80s right along the immediate coastline. So not much in the way of a rainfall chance during these morning hours, but there is a slight chance out there, 20 to 30% or so, right along the immediate coastline. We had some showers to the north of us, still do. That's a persistent trough that's not moving today. And we have these showers that are beginning to build down out in Gulf waters mostly, and the tendency for these will be to kind of die out as they get closer to shore. But nevertheless, around the Venice area, you may get a brief little shower there. You had one about an hour and a half ago, so it's possible that you can see a little bit of moisture on some of your roadways out there as you start your morning commute. Just pay attention to that, watch for that. Could be a little bit slippery out there in places. Otherwise, across the nation today, this section of the country, mid-Atlantic stretching back into Kentucky and Tennessee, will have a chance at seeing some stronger storms today. So if you're traveling, Nashville, Knoxville, areas around the D.C. locations, Raleigh, Durham, Charlotte, those airports could have a little bit of an airport delay because of the potential of some stronger storms in the vicinity of those airports. Otherwise, us here in Florida, just a chance of normal thunderstorms. That'll be mostly in the afternoon and mostly in inland areas. Jacksonville, Miami, those two cities probably have the best chance of seeing thunderstorm activity today. So over the next several days, as I mentioned, we're going to flip the switch on the rainfall machine across the state of Florida. Here's what's going to happen. This high pressure ridge, which has been providing us with some very quiet, kind of tranquil wind flow, and has aloft produced a little bit of drier air that's kind of quieted down the rain machine just a little bit, will shift down to the south as this frontal boundary also sinks down to the south. That front will stall out by Sunday across north central Florida. We're not going to get any cooler air from this one. Not the wrong time of year for that. But it will stick just to our north. And as it does that, we'll start to see our atmosphere moisten. Over the next 2 or 3 days, the atmosphere will significantly moisten. You'll see more clouds around tomorrow than you see today, and on Sunday you'll see many more clouds around. And as that front brings a little extra lift to our atmosphere, we'll start to work in some pretty good rain chances starting on Sunday. But then the front sticks, it stalls. So we'll have a prolonged period with little waves of low pressure running along it of enhanced rainfall chances right straight through most of next week. So we're heading to a kind of a wet period. We've been in this dry period all week long. Now we're going to shift. So 2 more days before the rains begin. Best rain chances will be inland today. And then next week, expect to see wet conditions. You can see that trough sinking southward at upper levels as well as at the surface. And that is all an indication of a big change coming your way Sunday when we double or more our rain chances into next work week. Back to you.
All right, thank you, John. Let's take a look at traffic this morning. Looks like traffic is pretty good throughout Manatee County. State Road 70, 301 looking good. I-75 clear as we head into Sarasota County. Taking a look in that area, you can see some congestion building on the Bayfront throughout that area as you pass by the Weston and Marina Jack. Bee Ridge, Clark, and Fruitville Road looking good, though, as we head into South County. Pretty quiet throughout that area. 5:49 on your Friday morning. In this hour's Health Smart, lactation specialist is an emerging new healthcare trend.
This is where practitioners work with new mothers having issues breastfeeding. Kim Hutcherson shows us how this partnership works.
Would it be okay to bring the pacifier in?
A growing number of mothers are reaching out to breastfeeding consultants when they find they're having serious difficulties breastfeeding. Claire Eden explains when she's typically called in.
babies maybe who aren't gaining weight well, or mothers who are having a lot of pain with breastfeeding.
Becoming a board-certified breastfeeding consultant requires several years of training and testing. The relatively new field is being integrated with a wider family of health specialists who provide services outside of medicine, nursing, or pharmacy. After their newborn began to drop weight quickly after birth, Jennifer Grant and her partner turned to Eden for help.
I actually didn't know anything about the challenges of breastfeeding or the functionality of having a breastfeeding consultant and the different options that were available.
The couple says working with a consultant has been a positive experience for themselves and their infant.
We've all felt supported and empowered, and happy baby, happy wife, happy life.
Yes.
For today's Health Minute, I'm Kim Hutcherson.
All right, still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast. We'll update your day's top local news headlines. And love the story. A cat goes on an unexpected adventure over 200 miles across Texas.
We'll have more on this little guy's journey when we come back.
It's a cat.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, AND services.com.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help. With Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sunny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
Ever since I can remember, I've been intrigued by industrial design and the optimization.
Wait, that's passion? Ever since I can remember, my passion has been industrial design. We need 3D printers for Miss Adams' engineering program so that we are ready to solve 21st century challenges.
Impressive. Think It Up is a new initiative to support student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classroom today? Think it up.
My name is Luke Perry, and I am 1 million strong. I'm in the fight against colorectal cancer because I believe we can win it. Colon and rectal cancers are the second leading cause of cancer deaths among men and women in the U.S. Colon cancer is preventable. Know the risk factors and make sure to get screened. There are simple, take-home options available. Take control of your health. Screening for colon cancer isn't embarrassing. It can be life-saving. To find out more about your options, visit fightcrc.org.
Keep up with your investments and market trends by watching the ABC 7 Stock Report. Get a recap of all the day's stock market activity. Be sure to watch your Suncoast News at 6 for the ABC 7 Stock Report, sponsored by Sunset Cadillac.
This is important news for women who were administered chemotherapy intravenously for breast cancer and then suffered permanent hair loss. The chemotherapy drug Taxotere has been linked to permanent alopecia or permanent hair loss. Some women administered the breast cancer chemotherapy drug Taxotere have suffered from permanent hair loss on scalp, eyebrows, and eyelashes. The FDA has urged doctors and the manufacturer to warn women administered Taxotere of the risk of permanent hair loss. If you or a loved one were administered chemotherapy intravenously for breast cancer and suffered permanent hair loss, you may have a right to a cash award and medical expenses. If you suffered permanent hair loss after chemotherapy for breast cancer, call the law offices of Davis & Crump at the number below right now to find out if you are eligible for a cash award and medical expenses. Call the law offices of Davis & Crump right now. Our first consultation is free, and we don't get paid unless you get paid. Call now. Operators are standing by.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, AND services.com.
Well, no reason to plan a picnic on Sunday. John says it's going to be a washout.
Oh, I know. You're going to head to the beach today or Saturday. Might be your better option.
Welcome back. 5:54 on your Friday morning.
Let's take a look at some of the top stories here on the Suncoast today.
A man wanted for a 2013 murder in Manatee County has been arrested in South America. The victim worked in the local clerk of court's office.
Plus an update on the project to install a diamond interchange at the intersection of State Road 64 and I-75. State DOT crews are working in widening the on and off ramps to the interstate and installing sidewalks and bicycle lanes on 64. The work is scheduled to be complete in about 2 years.
And it should be a fun day at the local Boys and Girls Club in Sarasota. The inaugural Rock the Boat Regatta features kids and CEOs racing homemade boats made of cardboard and tape. The event runs from 9 to 11 this morning.
Finally this hour, a little ringtail cat took quite a journey across the state of Texas. He hitched a ride on an RV where he stayed until he was discovered several hours later. After the little guy was found, he was taken to a wildlife center in Houston, which was over 200 miles away from where he started. He's now recovering from dehydration, but vets say he's eating on his own and will likely be released back into the wild soon.
Everybody out there watching this is thinking the same thing. That's a cat?
It's not a cat.
It looks like a chihuahua.
I think it's closely related to a raccoon.
Yes.
Yes.
We've
a
lost
ringtail cat. That's its technical name.
A ringtail?
A ringtail cat, but it's not.
Is that what they look like?
Well, yeah.
Apparently so. I don't know. I think it's a mislabeled video.
It's like chicken fried steak.
Oh, yeah.
There's no chicken.
There's no chicken in chicken fried steak.
A ringtail cat is
Chicken by the sea.
Yeah.
All right, we'll have
Interesting.
more local news headlines and John's weekend forecast in 3 minutes. Stay right there.